Flames roar across the courtyard, scorching stone and turning night into a furnace. My charge surges forward, boots pounding the ember-soaked ground. Franz's eyes flicker with desperation. The cursed bulb must be seized before the darkness swallows every hope. The heat presses us, but the mission burns hotter. Franz recounts a tense stroll by the crumbling shrine, when the pig suddenly lunged toward a shadowed arch. Its frantic sprint cuts through the silence, hinting at hidden treasure.
What, are you serious?
The pig barreled into the ruins, as if chasing a secret. Their blood quickens. The trail leads straight to the heart of the shrine.
Franz assures Carla he will supply any aid she requires while she holds the line at the ruined keep. Carla warns that Anna, ever curious, may wander the castle's echoing halls while Lord Bertram patrols, urging Franz to relay their strategy. Their synchronized moves become the lifeline of the quest.
If anything arises while you're there, shout.
Anna's sudden arrival could pivot their entire plan. Franz roars his refusal, vowing never to abandon the mission. He murmurs a lingering ache for Anna, then slams his pack shut, stuffing provisions despite Carla's protests. "Stay here," he commands, eyes fixed on the distant glow of the bulb. Their ironclad resolve drives them toward the final, treacherous ascent.
Franz confesses he's long forced others to bend, never the reverse. He grumbles about a relentless swarm that returns despite his best efforts, then abruptly clarifies, "I'm not talking insects." He snaps, recalling Carla's slip-up calling him by another man's name, a sting that fuels his irritation. Franz recounts Carla's distant glance, where she mistook him for Philibert. The mistaken name drags back memories of his disgraceful uncle, a man of ill repute. He admits he's far from saintly, yet that uncle remains a stain of childhood torment. Franz studies his uncle's scarred half-moon visage, internalizing a cruel edict. Nobles may never touch a commoner.
Franz sneers, labeling Carla an idiot, accusing her of false superiority despite lacking noble blood. Carla bluntly asks, "Where could a mixed marriage survive? Can a country girl thrive in the city?" Franz declares he once pledged to the king his desire to spend his life upon this soil, reaffirming the vow to steer their quest. Carla snaps, "You're a madman." Carla muses, "Even a noble wed a commoner shocks the realm. A prince marrying one borders on illegality." Franz replies, "My path is set. I simply must press onward." Carla admits envy of Franz's decisive stride, confessing she cannot wander the village alone and begs his aid. With trembling hands, Franz and Carla pry open a weather-worn sack, revealing a radiant bulb that hums with untamed power, the very key that could shatter the village's ancient curse. Carla's envy erupts into fierce hope. The glowing bulb promises liberation for her people, yet the dream of a prince wed to a commoner still tugs at her heart. As night deepens, the bulb's light trembles, casting wavering shadows that beckon unseen eyes toward the ruin. Franz and Carla stand poised, uncertain whether the curse will finally crumble or a fresh peril will emerge.
We don't just read the action, we read the lore. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari and dive deep. I drop my blade, and the city explodes again. A pig tears into an onion, spewing vapor that chokes the guard squad. A flashing banner appears. Magus Manga Team translates this series, urging fans to the site. The scene shifts to a mysterious relic unearthed near the ruins. Franz's flashback of the cursed onion ignites. Franz narrows his eyes at the glowing bulb, whispering, "This, I've seen it." He recites an ancient legend of onion-shaped relics that unleash curses. The memory clicks, this artifact may be the key to their nightmare. Stakes skyrocket as he gears up to recount the pig's discovery. Franz reports, "I led the pig to the ruins. It bolted toward ascent."
Franz declares urgency. They must pinpoint the bulb now before beasts dig it up and devour it. The scent spread would seal their fate. He resolves to set camp within the ruined castle, turning the site into a temporary stronghold. Franz vows to guard the bulb for several days inside the ruined keep, muttering a Magus tune as he settles. A teammate objects, reminding them they've just returned and can't linger far. The decision anchors their base for deeper study, while Philip Gerhard watches from the shadows. Franz steps forward, eyes alight, proclaiming, "I'll find a clue, break the curse, and return." He swears his oath, earning a nod of trust. A comrade replies, "Go ahead." Franz mutters about his new-found pig-herding talent, snapping, "Please shut up." At the chatter, he watches the pig, now thin, sniffing the ground. Keeping the animal calm is vital. A panicked beast could trample the relic. A cold wind sweeps the ruined stones, silencing buzzing insects. Franz notes the reduced swarms, granting the team clearer focus on the onion bulb. Every wasted moment could let the curse tighten its grip. A distant howl hints Philip Gerhard drawing near. Franz points out they won't need to burn grass for fire tonight, conserving fuel. He reflects on his growth, recalling the town's past insect plague.
Franz likens noble cruelty to playing with a stray animal, then discarding it. He sees no difference between casual abuse and aristocratic oppression, deepening his disgust and hinting at future rebellion. Franz declares romance one-sided, no responsibility required. He recalls Carla's shouted Philibert, and the sting of that memory, tying his distrust of love to past abuse. His heart remains guarded against noble expectations. Franz admits his careless words exacted a price, a strange shift lingering after his slip. Guilt gnaws at him, suggesting an unseen consequence, perhaps linked to the onion relic. Franz experiences a breakthrough as he finally talks with Carla on equal footing. Franz reacts to the notion of a prince marrying a commoner with disbelief, branding the other madman. He muses whether such a union is even legal, exposing cultural and legal hurdles that make the prospect near impossible. Franz declares his path set, confidence firm. He's ready to move forward, marking a shift from debate to decisive action. Franz names his immediate target, eliminating Philip Gerhard. He frames it as the essential step to protect their cause and break the lingering curse. Franz spots a faint glimmer amid the rubble, signaling the group with sharp eyes. He declares they've finally uncovered something worth the risk and orders everyone toward the spot before darkness deepens.
The scene shifts as a bold banner flashes, urging readers to visit Magus Manga for more content. The sudden promotional splash interrupts the tension, signaling a transition to the next sequence. Franz still must secure the mysterious bulb before night fully descends. Franz leads the party into a crumbling wing. A pig's snout disturbs a glowing bulb-shaped relic, unleashing swirling vapor pulsing with cursed energy. Franz feels his resolve crack as the vapor threatens to erase his sacrifices, while comrades stare, fearing the curse will devour their hopes and cause. The vapor coils around the ruined walls, forming indecipherable symbols as the hidden Magus Manga banner flickers. The group scrambles to decode its meaning before darkness swallows them.
If this recap helped you, subscribe to Manwa with Harry. Simple as that.
The echo of the blast fades, but the deadline thunders on. The prince must harvest the cursed onions before the kingdom crumbles. He leans toward the aide, demanding a description of the twisted bulb. The aide nods, confirming the dark veins pulse just right. Only a healthy plant can spark the cure.
How does it look?
Right. Yeah, that's right.
The skeptical noble still questions the onion's growth timetable. The prince demands the next move. A seasoned courtier urges them to break ground at once, proposing a digit-up technique before dismissing it as folly. He then snarls at the prince's abrupt exit, accusing him of abandoning duty. The commoner paints a vivid scene. The garden where they chased fireflies, the modest clothes bought with their first allowance. She declares every cherished memory must be relinquished. She warns that their family will never look at them the same once such a sacrifice is made.
The garden, first allowance clothes, must give all up. Family won't treat us the same after that.
Their debate turns to the law's origin, crafted by those ready to surrender everything. The commoner argues the marriage law persists because only those willing to surrender all can break it. She cites the noble who would cast aside his titles to wed a commoner, promising to welcome him with open arms.
At first light, Anna and the prince melt from the palace, treading toward the weathered ruins where the noble awaits. They conceal the rendezvous, fearing the court's meddling. Their stealthy approach seeks the noble's aid to coax the cursed plant into bloom. Anna's resolve hardens against the looming change. The unseen chronicler confesses they once would have barred Anna, yet now hesitates, sensing her fierce love for the prince. This softened stance frees Anna to chase her heart across class lines. Their budding tolerance fuels a looming confession. As the plant blooms, a concealed ring glints into sight. The cursed-lifting plant erupts, emerald leaves unfurling over the ruined stone, its aura swelling. Anna lunges a plea at Carla, who bursts onto the scene. "Hold! It's a misunderstanding." She rushes to soothe Carla, insisting she never meant betrayal. Carla hesitates, lowering his weapon, granting Anna a fleeting window to conceal the ring. That breath-held pause could decide their fate. The next move will determine who claims the ring. Chaos erupts as Anna darts to Carla, pleading, "It's a misunderstanding." Carla's eyes harden, probing why Anna bears resentment after becoming a widow. The tense exchange stalls Anna's attempt to stash the seedlings.
Hey, Carla, really it's misunderstanding.
Why's you developed sense of grievance from living as widow?
Carla's doubt forces Anna to accelerate her actions. Eric leans in, voice venomous. "I know Anna hides the ring upstairs. If you refuse, I'll strike at your daughter next." The prince's jaw clenches, his child's safety flashing before his eyes.
"I'll take your daughter if you hide it."
Anna's panic erupts, a scream of terror. Anna gasps, tears streaming, whispering, "No, not Anna, Anna." Her voice trembles with dread. She clutches the concealed ring, its weight pressing her heart. The prince watches, dread rising as the ring's safety slips.
No. Not Anna. Anna.
The cursed plant's bloom now hinges on retrieving the ring.
Eric traps Anna in the greenhouse, snarling for the ring's exact location. From the gloom, a shadowy figure coalesces, its blade poised to expose the artifact. Anna's terror spikes, ring clenched tight, fearing her daughter's fate. The prince feels his family's hope slipping away. The shadowy figure lifts a blade. The hidden ring quivers. The group freezes, the prince's child's destiny hanging on a razor-thin thread.
We don't skip the details. Subscribe to Manwa with Harry for the full experience.
The prince watches his palace collapse, his eyes dry even as onions sizzle. A scholar probes, "Do we study history only because we need it?" A senior counselor snaps, "Exactly. Knowledge is a weapon, not a vanity." The debate hangs heavy, exposing a court that treats books as tools.
Yes.
The answer cements the truth. Nobles cling to ancient tomes for power. The counselor presses on, insisting that nobles preserve their rank by memorizing dusty chronicles, not by deeds of their own. He points out the throne's very foundation leans on those pages, a living relic that validates every decree.
The foundation remains nobles, reading only old books.
A stern voice declares, "This is no joke. treat it seriously. Another shouts, forget protocol. Strip the shirt. Show me the wound. The urgency drives them toward perilous medical choices. The clash over extracting the glowing tube escalates. A murmuring scholar reminds them, they only reveal this chapter at a specific moment, underscoring how the court clings to ancient lore for survival. The royal magician's grim warning about pulling the tube looms. Bertram leans over his chest, eyeing the pulsating tube embedded in flesh. He squints, mutters, "What is this thing?" He notes the odd numbness, no sting despite the wound. His calm claim steadies the crowd, yet the silent danger looms.
What's this, really?
The entourage storms the marble halls, snatching bandages, herbs, and arcane tools amid shouted orders. An errand boy bursts in with steaming breakfast, spills it, and scowls. Voices clash over who must retrieve the glowing tube. Their chaos wastes precious seconds, each drop of blood counting. A cryptic notice about flickers in the next scene. A shout rings. The tale only opens at. Another cries, "I'm back!" The echo ripples through the kitchen, marking the crew's reassembly. Spirits rise marginally, yet the deadline looms.
The final frame reveals the prince's exposed side, crimson flowing from the glowing tube embedded in his flesh. The royal magician hovers, hand aloft, poised to unleash a spell. The image sears the urgency of the medical crisis amid kitchen chaos. The magician teeters on the brink. Pull the tube and invite lethal bleeding or hold fast. Kitchen pandemonium erupts as the errand boy slams the lord's cursed breakfast onto the table, while the prince's magical tube continues to bleed and the royal magician braces for a desperate incantation. Mira watches the prince's wound deepen, dread clawing at her heart. She fears losing the sole soul who ever cared for her. Meanwhile, Chef Kim swallows his pride, forced to shield the lord's envoy. The magician's hand hovers over the bleeding tube, the spell sputtering, leaving the prince's fate hanging as the kitchen erupts into a frantic scramble for the cryptic violet scan's secret.
What are you waiting for? Hit the button. Subscribe to Manwa with Harry.
The final cannon roar still reverberates, reminding me the job isn't over. Expose the prince's onion contraption. No sorrow, only raw, detonating fury. A weary scholar raises a cold question. Does the capital force its children to study history as a survival tool? The query hangs heavy, a thin veil over the nobles' need to legitimize their rule.
Yes.
The learned historian steps forward, ready to reveal why the aristocracy clings to dust-laden chronicles. The scholar nods, confirming his own skepticism. He argues that noble status is forged not by battlefield glory but by hoarding ancient tomes, each page a badge of inherited authority. The kingdom leans on recorded memory to justify every decree.
The magician verifies the injury's severity, scolding the scholar for treating it lightly. He commands the scholar to tear open his shirt, exposing the source. Tension spikes as the group braces to staunch the flow. A sudden gasp ripples through the hall as the blood gushes faster than anticipated. A bold caption flashes across the stone, declaring the tale can only be read through. It serves as a cryptic reminder of a hidden archive. The courtiers remain oblivious to the omen looming overhead. As darkness deepens, a pale, handsome specter materializes, hovering like a warning. Violet leans in, inspecting the metallic tube jutting from the scholar's chest. She asks its purpose.
Violet steps nearer to the exposed conduit, gripping its edge with trembling fingers. The scholar steadies his arm, eyes locked on the dark pool forming below. The scene crackles with tension, each second counting to halt the surge. The tube threatens to burst further. A crimson banner flares across the hall, proclaiming, "Read this series only at." Moments later, the scholar reappears, shouting his return. The meta-joke flickers, but his sudden comeback forces Violet to decide her next move. Bertram's return forces Violet to make a choice. The scholar snaps, Hey, why are you kidding me? Opening time's near and you left the ingredients.
Violet studies the menu, puzzled by its length and the delay. She notes the restaurant isn't rural, so a special menu feels out of place. She suspects the Lord hides something behind the dishes.
Why does this menu take so long?
The odd menu may reveal the Lord's secret plans. A banner billows across the hall, declaring read this series only at. Violet's eyes lock onto the name Duke Gerhard. The Duke's sudden appearance hints at a shifting power balance.
Duke Gerhard.
Violet activates a crystal scanner. The device flashes, displaying a line that reads, read the series only at. The cryptic note hints at a hidden archive location, crucial because the archive may hold the cure. The hidden archive door looms ahead. The scanner stutters, spewing corrupted characters IH9N, and add this series only at IO. The gibberish signals data decay, suggesting vital instructions may be obscured. They must decode the broken file before the blood loss worsens. They must decode the broken file before the blood loss worsens. A servant bursts in, laughing, asking if anyone is raising something upstairs, noting a strange sound.
Bertram hurls the steaming tray at Violet, forcing her to confront a corrupted crystal scanner that flashes a cryptic line, unveiling a hidden archive and igniting a covert power struggle. Violet feels a surge of hope as the decoded note promises leverage, yet her smile masks the risk of betrayal, while the scholar senses his fragile alliance slipping, fearing loss of control. A shadowed figure lurks above the courtyard, eyes fixed on the fruit exchange, hinting at a deeper conspiracy that could shatter both Violet's newfound advantage and the scholar's precarious grip on power.
Lock in your weekly entertainment. Hit subscribe on Manwa with Hari and let the stories come to you. Smoke drifts away, but the hidden switch remains unfound. Violet's forced pairing with Eric ignites a silent battle inside her. She perches on a stone bench, fingers trembling around a folded letter. The parchment trembles, ink spelling a banquet invitation where Eric will appear. The promise of alliance burns on the page. She wonders why she must go. Her fists curl tight. Eric's true purpose at the banquet remains a secret. A sudden murmur brushes Violet's ear. She spins, eyebrows arching. A hushed voice slips. Wah! She leans in, straining for clarity. The echo repeats, What are you talking about? Violet's frown deepens as accusation hangs in the air. The crowd whispers of collusion with Eric.
A snarky villager scoffs, calling love a reed swaying in the wind. He suggests gathering pretty girls to distract Eric, hoping his heart will move on. Violet snaps, You're mocking me right now. The exchange reveals villagers' willingness to manipulate the match and fuels Violet's fury.
You're making fun of me right now.
The village chief finally interrupts the argument. The village chief storms in, voice stern. Silence. Follow my command. He cuts the petty banter, demanding focus on the dean's capture and the gold ring. His authority could reshape the village's future. Every stare pierces her. Villagers label her gloomy again. One asks why she looks so down. Anna asks when Bertram will return. Violet replies that his competence comforts everyone, especially now. She implies Bertram's skills could stabilize the turmoil. This exchange shows villagers' reliance on Bertram's reputation to calm unrest.
He's good at everything, so his presence would reassure us.
Next, the noble's connection to Bertram raises more questions. A villager mentions the noble also knew Bertram, shocking Violet. She repeats the question, seeking confirmation. The revelation hints at overlapping networks, suggesting hidden alliances. Mystery deepens around who truly controls the village's fate.
Really?
Violet scoffs, "Extreme me?" as the heated discussion unfolds. She adds that the gold ring is also missing, complicating matters. Her remark underscores the absurdity of the cruelty and shifts focus to the valuable ring, which could decide who controls the village's resources. The chief's looming decision about the ring and relocation looms. The chief notes someone must know about Teresa's gold ring. He worries its loss means Dean could break in again. He urges the council to devise a plan immediately, scanning the crowd for allies who might have heard the rumor. The missing artifact fuels fear among the farmers. The chief's urgency forces villagers to act fast. The chief paces, counting aloud. The chief orders Lara to let Eric, a refined city soldier, accompany them when they escort Dean to the neighboring village. He claims Eric's polished manners will make a good impression on the Lord. Using Eric's background aims to secure a favorable deal. He warns that Eric's presence may change things soon. The chief asks Lara if Eric will return quickly, noting negotiations might take days. He worries Eric's soldier experience could catch the Lord's eye, leading to recruitment or a romance with a village girl. Losing Eric would weaken their plan. The chief's concern pushes him to join the journey himself. The village chief declares he will personally travel to the new Lord's Hall, leading an escort with Dean and the polished soldier Eric, turning a routine handoff into a high-stakes diplomatic mission. Chief's pride and the village's hope hang on this journey, while Dean's freedom teeters between safety and surrender, and Eric's presence threatens to tempt the new Lord with recruitment or romance. No one knows the new Lord's true name beyond the whispered Sir Philip, leaving the group uneasy as they approach his hall, unsure whether their plea will succeed or spark a dangerous alliance.
Just one more chapter, right? We've all been there. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari.
The skyline erupts, splintering hope as a carriage rolls in. A villager yells, "It's a trap!" The crowd freezes, eyes locked on the iron wheels. The new Lord's shadow looms, promising danger. Murmurs coil into a frantic scheme. Whispers rise. Dig a hidden pit to swallow the carriage whole. A determined elder sketches a trench wider than the road, deep enough to trap the carriage's wheels. He promises the Lord's ride will smash, buying the village a chance to fight alone. Heads nod. This could crush Philip before his reign even begins. No need to beg the neighboring lord for aid. A sneering voice scoffs at Anna's mother, calling her a foolish breeder.
A hushed voice whispers, "We said it tonight." Others nod, agreeing to hide the trap until dusk. Tools clank as villagers dig deeper, shadows lengthening. The final preparations for the pit begin as darkness looms. A villager asks, "Will a rate be driven from our home?" Murmurs rise, fearing the loss of their protector. Anxiety spikes. If Philip succeeds, Erate could be exiled. Tonight's trap will decide whether Erate stays or flees. The crowd erupts. "Get lost!" Another yells. "How many times must you hear it?" Their fury blocks his entry, feeding the trap's momentum. The carriage's wheels inch closer, the pit yawning beneath.
A villager proposes digging a pit on the road, hoping the carriage wheels will plunge. Anna listens, but an elder warns sabotage could trigger collective execution. Fear ripples, the crowd hesitates. Tension rises as they weigh rebellion against death. A young villager thanks Anna, recalling she saved them when others called them criminals. He vows to remain neighbors no matter the outcome. Their loyalty fuels Anna's resolve. Anna feels the weight of their trust. Anna feels a tightness in her chest, unsure if it's sorrow or joy. The surge drives her to share the feeling with someone important now. She turns toward the looming Lord's carriage. A villager bellows, "Mister." A tiny voice yips, echoing oddly. A stray cat darts past, its fur marked with violet ink. The crowd laughs nervously, dismissing it as a joke. Yet the sharp scent of onions lingers, hinting danger. The next moment will reveal whether the onion bulb finally blooms. A violet watermark flashes over the scene where Anna confronts the cloaked figure. The mark briefly distracts the villagers. Anna's gaze remains fixed on the mysterious sack. Anna whirls, spotting Mr. Bertram clutching a torch. She shouts his name, demanding why he bears that strange light, accusing him of abandoning his duty. Villagers watch uneasy.
Bertram, mister.
Someone shouts, "Mr. Bertram?" The voice slices through the murmurs, pulling the elder's attention. Villagers cling to any hope of guidance, demanding his words. He prepares to reveal the truth about the onion bulbs. Mr. Bertram lifts his hand, eyes fixed on Anna, and declares the onions taken from her father are the key to the curse. He links the missing bulbs directly to the village's affliction, raising the stakes for Anna's family.
In truth, those bulbs that were taken from your father.
He forces Anna to confront what happened to those discarded onions. Bertram continues, accusing Anna that the bulbs were discarded and used, despite her claim that feeding them was enough.
Mr. Bertram points at Anna. She kneels, extracts a tiny onion bulb from her satchel, and plants it in the freshly turned earth, sparking a fragile hope that the village's curse might finally shatter. Defying the villagers' doubts, Anna offers the final onion bulb, risking her reputation and the fragile trust she's built. Accusations swirl that she once threw the onions away, yet hope flickers as the crowd teeters between salvation and relentless despair. The newly planted onion quivers in the wind. Bertram demands proof of its potency, while the villagers watch anxiously, fearing the sprout will wither before spring, leaving the village's fate dangling on a single, uncertain bloom.
Videos like this get buried all the time. Hit subscribe on Manwa with Hari so we don't lose each other.
Violet's gaze locks onto 3 trembling stars, a secret map in the night. She memorizes the pattern. Then a nervous agent slides up to Sir Knight. The agent whispers, "Are you heading to Bertram?" Sir Knight's jaw tightens, silence screaming louder than words. The hidden rendezvous with Bertram threatens to ignite the night. Violet storms at Sir Knight, ridiculing his endless pig-feeding ritual. "You tend the swine and still preach to me?" She snarls, her eyes flashing. His brooding stare fuels her fury, demanding an answer about his sour mood.
Sir Knight, you feed the pig, then lecture me. Why are you so gloomy? You're annoying me.
Sir Knight snarls, "Damn it." At the sprawling trench, feeling its weight crush hope, Violet snaps, "What do the nobles want?" The truth hits hard. The farm is a cage, not charity. Sir Knight mutters, "Join the Hari squad before the system crashes." Their fury ignites a spark of rebellion.
Damn it.
Anton leans in, eyes like knives. "Were you the Capitol's investigator sent to probe the incident?" He demands, declaring his mission. Expose Lord Philip Gerhardt as unfit. Sir Knight stiffens, his past duty now a dagger. The next question will test Sir Knight's loyalty. Anton presses, "Tell the truth of the battle." He offers protection, invoking a guarantee from Gred. Sir Knight eyes the promise warily, recalling betrayals. The offer feels like a snare. The promise of safety hovers over a perilous decision. The words thud like hammers. Sir Knight warns of Hans, who perished after being forced as a witness.
Sir Knight threatens, "If you free me, I'll vanish," demanding supplies for a long trek without a horse. His desperation reveals the logistical chain binding his freedom.
If you let me go, I could run away. Pack enough food first.
The villagers now grapple with granting his request. Sir Knight and Violet stand at the trench's edge, half-dug earth yawning before them. Knight drapes the field, tension coiling in their shoulders. A faint rustle soon shatters the silence. Violet's brow knots, frustration spiking. She mutters about Sir Knight, unable to read his motives. The village's fate presses on her, loyalty wavering.
Can't figure him out. I love this village, of course.
Sir Knight forces a goofy grin as the trench's eerie creak reveals a hidden presence. Violet lifts the parchment, spotting Anton's name scrawled across the schedule, proof of a secret agenda. Violet feels betrayal crush her resolve, loyalty to the village colliding with fear of Anton's machinations, while Sir Knight's desperation for food deepens his dread of abandonment. The thud echoes louder, the darkness conceals unknown eyes, and the villagers' guards approach, leaving the trench's fate and Anton's true purpose hanging in trembling uncertainty.
The editing, the voice, the pacing. You know it's good. Subscribe to Manwa with Harry.
The flames gutter, yet the foe's stare burns on. Crimson stains the floor, but his mother claims no onion ever sparked her rage. In the gloom, Violet's eyes lock onto a trembling sigil etched on the stone. She clenches the ancient scroll tighter, feeling its weight. An emissary steps forward, demanding she ascend to confront Bertram. Violet flinches, her gaze flicking to the cracked doorway, torn between duty and dread.
Gans to Biju Lolo.
Violet's choice could thrust Bertram straight into the brewing war. Sir Knight leans against a mud-splattered pen, tossing scraps to a snorting pig while lecturing the gathered villagers. He mutters that feeding the swine is a lesson in obedience. A villager mutters a frustrated "damn it" while staring at the crumbling stone wall. Another whisper asks. Anton leans forward, accusing the protagonist of knowing everything from the start. He repeats his demand. "You're the envoy from the capital, aren't you? Prove Philip Gerhardt unfit to govern." The protagonist remains silent, pressure mounting. Anton's goal is to tarnish Gerhardt's legacy and shift power. The next step is extracting testimony. Anton declares he needs a sworn testimony about the battle. He slides a sealed document to the protagonist, urging truth. Mgreed steps forward, promising protection if the testimony is given. "If you testify, I guarantee your safety," he vows. The promise tempts the protagonist, but stakes rise dramatically.
"If you testify, I guarantee your safety."
The danger looms larger. The protagonist asks what will happen if they let him leave. Might he run away from the village? He then demands they stock enough provisions before any departure, noting the road to the next settlement is too long without a horse. The practical dangers of fleeing loom, highlighting logistical hurdles ahead. The looming journey threatens to change everything. Bertram flips through a crumbling village ledger. A faded line reads, "Married." He squints, trying to match the cryptic code to the communal farm's excavation log. The entry suggests a hidden schedule the nobles kept secret. He feels the weight of the secret, knowing it could link the farm's labor to the Gerhardt scandal.
Bertram spots a crouching silhouette by the ditch, lifts a small shovel, locks eyes, and steadies his resolve as the hidden digging intensifies under the moonlit night. He wrestles with loyalty versus affection, fearing he becomes a noble pawn while the villager's fate hangs on his decision, and Violet's discovery of Anton's name fuels personal dread. The thudding grows louder, the silhouette remains unseen, and the secret excavation threatens to burst before dawn, leaving Bertram's next move shrouded in danger.
The snakes are hiding in plain sight. Subscribe to Manwa with Harry.
The wreckage still smoldered. Gunfire cracked the night. He awoke, throat burning, gasping for air. Midnight diggers shredded his farm. The night smelled of burnt wood and ash. He stumbled outside, flashlight trembling in his hand. Silhouettes wielded shovels, ripping communal fields. Lantern light flashed over fresh soil. Rumors of hidden treasure drove them to destroy his livelihood. The workers kept digging, their tools striking earth. A metallic glint caught his eye beneath the dirt. Groaned, clutching his seriously throbbing, believing head, the ridiculousness sour enough to tear up taste of all the alcohol crops we still worked so hard to grow lingering. Darkness. Greedy and Anna Rushhead stepped into the dim room, eyes narrowed. "You awake?" she demanded. He blinked, trying to clear the haze. Anna stormed into the center, raising her voice.
"Put those cursed shovels down." The workers froze, shovels hanging in the air. One of them yelled, "What? Why are you digging up perfect gold fields?" Because of that treasure rumor. The accusation hung in the night air, exposing their greed. Anna pointed to the strange metal she had found.
A worker stepped forward, voice trembling. Are you seriously believing such ridiculousness enough to tear up all the crops we worked so hard to grow? He admitted, sorry, we got too greedy and rushed. But Anna, look at this. He held up a rusted helmet, evidence of a buried soldier. The find deepened the mystery and forced a choice. Anna pointed at Granny's dirty palms, shouting, Granny, what are you doing here again? Look at your hands, you dug up the ground with bare fists. Granny sighed, you're driving me crazy. A villager rushed forward, shouting, come here, Granny. There's medicine in the fields. Apply it before it spoils. Anna added, I need to find my son, but you keep interrupting. Tension rose as the group argued over the dig. Anna commanded the workers, right, go ahead and start filling it back in. The crowd lifted shovels ready to cover the soil. A voice cut through, wait a second. What are you trying to do right now? The speaker pointed at the exposed helmet, demanding explanation. Granny stepped into the center, eyes blazing, pointing at the half-buried helmet. She declared that the villagers clearly tried to hide the bodies despite knowing they might be found. Anna snapped, refusing to listen, shouting that it isn't the case and ordering silence. The crowd felt uneasy, unsure whether to follow Anna's command or heed Granny's warning. The field's fate balanced on this clash of truth and denial.
Regardless, it's obvious you tried to conceal it.
That's not it. Enough, I won't hear more.
The chief's arrival loomed, and the Lord's soldiers closed in. Over 20 years ago, Philibert fled far into the countryside to escape a succession dispute over his title.
Granny tore open the mudcake diary, shouting the buried soldiers' names as Jonas echoed the grim tally, while the half-buried helmet glinted, exposing the villagers' murderous cover-up under the Lord's looming decree. Anna's defiant silence cracked under the weight of ancestral guilt. Jonas felt his lineage condemned, and the crowd trembled, fearing loss of home, honor, and the lives of those hidden beneath the fields. A trembling villager stepped forward, pleading for mercy as the Lord's booming warning hung in the air, leaving the fate of the cursed village and its buried dead suspended on a razor-thin edge.
The abyss is staring back. Subscribe to Manwa with Harry.